Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'll be reviewing the Weidman Jungle Boot. So, this is not going to be so much a rundown on the history of the Jungle Boot, but more so as just a personal experience and review of this particular Jungle Boot. If you guys want to get info on the history of the Jungle Boot and its fascinating development by the US military, I would highly recommend watching a video by a guy by the name of Anvil on YouTube. I'll link his video in the description below. But today I'll be focusing more so on my personal experience with this Jungle Boot and overall just the construction and overall comfort of this boot. So starting off with the most, I'd say, unique thing is probably these vent holes on the side. So these, I believe, are brass and they have a little mesh inside. Now what this does is it allows the boot to ventilate very well, especially for a leather boot. Now what happens is there's a little bit of an air pocket when you step, right? And that'll push out air and let air in. It's also important to mention that when water gets up, pretty high, the water will actually drain out through these little ports. And what's cool about these is that because there's that mesh in there, it doesn't allow dirt to get in, but it allows all the water to get out. And adding to that, another thing that stops dirt from getting in is this padded collar. Now, the original Jungle Boots did not have a padded collar, but basically what a padded collar allows you to do is it allows the boots to be extremely snug around the leg without cutting off circulation and without you having to tie your boots extremely tight. These boots also have a gusseted tongue, meaning that the tongue is actually sewn into the boot instead of being like a regular shoe where the tongue is not attached and is just, it can let a bunch of debris in through the side. Another cool feature that this boot has that the original Jungle Boots that were issued in the US military does not have is these eyelets. So these are what they call speed laces, and these allow the boot, when you lace them up, when you pull the top ones, all of them pull at the same time. And it's an extremely fast way of lacing up a boot. So another recognizable feature of this boot is the Panama sole. So this sole is really a fascinating design. So they have these very aggressive tread blocks on the side to have really good grip. But what's interesting is that the lugs in the center, as you can see, are a little bit more shallow and they're very big. Now what that allows is you get these really aggressive side lugs to clear out debris, but at the same time you got, a large contact patch in the middle, meaning that you won't slip, and they also don't bend as much. Same thing in the back. It's a very interesting design, and these clear out extremely well. Another key feature about this boot that I find very interesting is the fact that it's a nylon upper while it has a leather lower. So basically what that means is the lower part of this boot is all leather, but the upper is canvas, in this case being nylon. So what's cool about that is that you get the breathability of the nylon and the lightweight aspect, but at the same time you also get the durability of that leather toe and that leather heel. So it has a little support strap because when they first issued them, they would tear, and so they added this reinforcement strap to prevent that from happening. Now, this is extremely flexible, but you still get very good ankle support, really good breathability, great protection, and just overall a very comfortable boot. Now, especially for a leather boot, this thing has very good ventilation in general. I'm not sure if it's just because of the nylon or if it's because of the, vent holes, but overall this boot is just an extremely comfortable boot to wear. I've worn a lot of boots, and out of all of them, these have to have the best ventilation out of anything I've ever worn. Next to Crocs. Now, if there's one knock that I could give it, it's that the first time I ever wore it, I got blisters. But when you're breaking in a leather boot, that's kind of normal. So, give or take. But after that, I haven't gotten a single blister, and these boots have been extremely, extremely comfortable. Not to mention the fact they just look badass. I mean, that's another thing. The most comfortable boots I've ever worn in my entire life. So, I'm not sure if it just has to do with my foot shape, but these were designed so that they have a very round toe and they can fit almost any foot. And it may just be because of these vent holes. They have very good ventilation. I tend to have very sweaty feet, and that tends to be an issue when picking a shoe. These vent holes make it breathe extremely, extremely well because it lets that fresh air in. Could be because of the, the nylon upper. I don't know. Maybe it could be because, these laces, they just lace up really tight. The padded collar makes a really good seal. And I have to say, when you're lacing your boots up, and these all go at the same time, it's really, really good. And not to mention the fact that these boots are only like $50. You could get something that's $200 and it might not even work just as well as these things for $50. These are just a really good design. I mean, they're proven. They've been around for 60 years and it's just a solid design, you know. And I just think overall, if I had to give it a ranking, it would be 10 out of 10. I mean, these boots are durable, they look cool, they have a lot of grip, they're easy to lace up, they're breathable, and they fit almost any like foot size. So I mean, honestly, I don't think there's a better choice, especially for a boot. These have to be the best. But that's just my run through, guys. And without further ado, see you in another video.